My favorite candy is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. My kids know that every Halloween because I steal them. All right. So everybody, have you all heard of Balm? Probably not, but you probably have seen it. It's this little green tin, 8 ounce and 4 ounce, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So as Chuck was saying before Balm, I spent a couple years at Kantar Consulting, advising some of the biggest CPG companies in the world on their digital strategies. So if I have any bad habits, I apologize. I tried to leave before I developed too many of those. So what I'm going to talk about really are 4 simple ingredients. Our product is made with 4 simple ingredients. So what are kind of the 4 things that I've done with my team at Balm to take it from really an analog brand and really digitize it into what marketing and sales is for 2020 as we look at the future. So number 1, we'll talk about marketplace strategies. What does that mean? How do we execute with excellence across our e-com partners and our own direct-to-consumer site? And then a lot about what we've heard already is really controlling your own destiny. Do you really want to put all your eggs in one Bezos by having just an Amazon strategy for e-commerce? I think D2C is a great way to really widen your moat. And then engage at scale through digital. What does that mean? And then be authentic and true. So we'll start out by, what is Balm? We are a skincare brand. We've been around since 1899, so about 5 years younger than the Hershey Company. We've been to the North Pole. We were at 9/11 helping with dogs and some of the service members with dry, cracked skin, dry paws. And we have a new CBD line. We have a soap line. And this is really our Instagram feed that you can see with some of the great consumers that we work with. It's a really fun brand. And so this is one of the ads that we've done recently, which really brought the brand from a kind of I used to call it from a 45-year-old to dead demographic, and really brought it in front of consumers who are a lot younger.
Oh.
Oh, boy! Dry, cracked hands, the likes of them hitting out of nowhere like a swarm of leaf peepers in Vermont. And this here green tint is Balm, the good stuff. Alleviates, soothes, and heals. Moisturizes with none of them parabens and sulfates and phthalates.
Thanks, Balm Squad.
Ain't nothing, man.
Okay, can you leave now?
No sulfates. So a lot of fun. I brought my 9-year-old daughter down to VaynerMedia. We filmed that. I've actually 4 videos in a day. It was a ton of fun. So what I want to talk about really is how do we think about the retail landscape and what the shopper of today's day and age looks like. What do they want? What do they think about? And really that helps us set the foundation on how we go to market with our digital channels. What I like to call is really the Fab 5, is what is today's digital shopper looking for? How do we interact with that? And this is what my team has really been focused on. Number 1, limitless selection. So if we look across the board, where can we find retailers that have a limitless selection? So you think about Walmart, you think about Amazon, you think about even Costco. Limitless selection, that's one area in which we can coordinate a conversation with our shoppers. Number 2 is value. I feel like I'm getting a good deal. This is definitely shoppers are interested in this. So we look at things like TJ Maxx or even some of the dollar channels. And yes, those aren't really digital plays per se, but digital is how we can influence in-store purchase behavior by leveraging some of these value channels. And then convenience. So things like Prime, Growth Collaborative, where it's a subscription-based platform. These are ways where I can set it and forget it. I know the toilet paper is going to come every 4 weeks for my household. I don't have to worry about it. And then trust. So again, trusted brands. 7th Generation, for example, Tom's, Birds, even us, where it's a brand that you can trust, that you feel good about buying them. They lock you in for life, hopefully, and you don't have to make other purchase decisions because it's really a brand that you trust and you believe in. And then number 5 is the experience. There's nothing worse than going to a site or a mobile app where it blows up on your face and you really don't have a good experience. So think about Everlane. It's a really fun site to shop and to explore anthropology. There's always this, this notion of finding more and digging deeper. So this is what we kind of think about as we interact with our shoppers. And then a real interesting chart right here is really this massive shift in retail. What has happened in the past 5 or 6 years? These are all quarters of revenue and revenue growth per retailer. And you can see, if I get this pointer to work, guess not. You can see the big standouts right here. Costco, and even TJ Maxx, Dollar Store, where they've had, TJ Maxx in particular and Costco have had almost 7 quarters of 7 to 8% growth quarter over quarter. So if I think about the landscape, here's what I want to focus on. And if you look at some of the, the main department store brands and values, that's really, they're sort of losing faith with the shopper, and they're really not focusing on the Fab Five of retail, what I just talked about a second ago. So these are all things that help my team understand where we're headed. And then the final piece is this notion of omnichannel. It's a buzzword. It's used over and over again. I'm not really a big fan of it, but what's we talk about. And I think Greg Menard from Home Depot, again, another retailer who's done a fantastic job of really combining and realizing the new front door to my store is now in my front pocket. And that's how I interact with shoppers. And that's really one thing that we're focused on too, is this omnichannel approach. And it's really what I call the force of commerce, where it's really the e-force of commerce that is everywhere. Isn't that terrible? Sorry, late night. So it's this e-force that is everywhere. So wherever that shopper is, I don't want to put them into a channel. I want to make sure that I'm in front of them every step of the way. And then finally, the one last thing that my team thinks about is probably the ugliest slide that I ever present. But this is really what's happening in the retail sector. Is if I look across the bottom here, from 1996 to 2021, consumer electronics are pretty flat for growth. Pet supplies, flat. Therapeutic equipment is flat. Drugs are going up. Alcohol away from home, and that may or may not be a health and wellness play, but regardless, that's on the rise. So if I think about these categories of growth and categories of flatline, what is it that we want to play, and how do we drive consumer behavior? And really what we're seeing is experiences. Somebody said that a little bit earlier today, is consumers are more interested in buying experiences, less about stuff, more about experiences. And how do we make Bag Balm an experiential brand versus just buying something off the shelf? So there's really a whole lifestyle to our product that we're thinking about. So number one, marketplaces. Absolutely have to have a marketplace strategy, and this could be everything from Etsy to Lazada. If you're in Southeast Asia. If you're thinking about eBay, Target just launched a marketplace. So our first and foremost marketplace play that we started on August 1st, when I started last year, was really Amazon, and figure out how do we go to market with e-commerce ready items that will not interfere with our great brick and mortar retailers such as Walmart and even Target. So unique, they're multi-plat, they're low weight to high price ratio. So we've launched things like hemp and arnica. This retails for $49.95. It's 2 ounces. Costs us about $4 in fees on Amazon to ship, so not that much. And then we've got kits and bundles and multi-packs. So the first priority is Amazon as a third-party seller, much easier. And then Walmart is second, third is Target, and then fourth is eBay, and then potentially Target as they start to ramp up a little bit more. And the other piece too is if you're not focused on a marketplace strategy, somebody else is, and they're selling your product for you, even if you don't know it. And what you end up with is something like this. $27.45 for an 8-ounce tin. We retail it for roughly $9.95. That's what it sells for. It sells for $7.49 at Walmart. So some third-party seller is selling this. Somebody's going to buy it. They're going to see it at this price. They're going to be pretty pissed off if they just purchased that. Give me a bad review. And then this, another one, third-party seller on Amazon, empty package. I don't know who shipped that out. I don't know what seller, where they're buying it from. But there's this whole supply chain, leaky supply chain, that we are working very hard to solve for and fix. Anybody experienced that before? Familiar with that? Number two, direct-to-consumer. We've talked about this a lot today, but I think direct-to-consumer is absolutely a place you want to play, regardless of what type of product or brand that you have. When your CMO or your chief revenue officer asks you, why should we be doing direct-to-consumer when 98% of our business is through brick and mortar? You've got some reasons right here. Number one, first-party data. We've just been talking about it. Ashley just spent half an hour talking about it. That you've got the ability to have a one-on-one conversation with your consumer. They're going to want to buy from you because they have that relationship and they trust you. And again, name acquisition and CRM is what it's about. We've grown our email database in our CRM 2,900%. I just pulled this number for a board meeting since August of 2018. So a great number. That's what we're really focused on, is growing that database. New product launches, must do for sure. 50% of CPG growth through 2025 will take place through e-commerce, not necessarily direct to consumer, but some type of e-commerce channel. And again, for us, we launch a product, we figure out if it works, If it works, great, we'll push it forward. If it doesn't, we'll tweak it. But once we get some momentum, we get reviews, I can then take that to CVS and say, CVS, we are selling the heck out of this new CBD product. Are you interested? And they say, actually, we are very interested. And that was a conversation I had last week. And again, 75% of new product launches fail, so we should all be testing and learning on our direct-to-consumer channels as a way to kind of bring new products to the market. And then again, build loyalty and relationships. Many shoppers, as we know, like to shop from the mothership. They think it's fresher coming direct from the manufacturer, or they have a direct relationship. We charge $6 to ship an item under $30, and you would be surprised how many people buy our 8-ounce tin for $8, pay $6 for shipping, when they can go right over to Amazon and get that for free. People just love to buy from us for that reason. And then number 4 is a powerful sales tool for retail partners. I kind of talked about that already. Part of it is building scale, but I can go to our retail partners and say, hey, we are going to use our CRM database of direct-to-consumer customers and market to them on your behalf, saying, come buy this at Walmart if they're within 60 miles of a Walmart, or 30 miles for that matter. So it's a great way for us to build relationships, channel mitigation, all the stuff that you know about. And then number 3, engage at scale via digital. Stuff that should not be unfamiliar to you, but you know, we've taken our brand, again, a 120-year-old startup is the way I look at our company. We haven't really done this before, so we're starting to do this now. Where I used to talk about interconnected commerce and making sure that you have like virtual reality packaging on your products and thin film packaging, I kind of threw that out the window and said, let's go back to basics and let's figure out what type of ads work. Let's make sure that we have clear calls to action on them. Buy now, get a coupon. And here's some examples from L'Oreal, get a coupon. If your agency starts talking to you about hover over rates or sponge cells or intent to purchase based on the time that their mouse is over the ad unit, fire them and pick up a new agency. And I came from WPP, so I can say that. And again, focus on making sure that you've got really key metrics. And I think Andrew talked about this, is how many people opened up my email, how many people actually clicked to the product detail page, how many people actually purchased. Those are kind of the metrics that you want to focus on. Having a direct-to-consumer site gives you that frontline data of knowing what ads will really work. You can roll those out to your retailers when you hand them off ad units as well. So bounce rate, open rate, click-through rate, e-commerce sales lift, unsubscribe, these are all key metrics to focus on. And you can see right here, I didn't put down the dates, but this is really the end of 2018, as we headed into this year. The bottom, the orange is sales from last year, the blue is sales from this year. We turned on a pretty significant campaign of driving people to Walmart to purchase, and this is the Walmart week-over-week POS report that you probably receive every week, that I do too. So we see that it works, and it works really well, and we're excited about it. So is Walmart. And then number 4 is be authentic. We are not, although yes, we are marketing to a younger demographic, and I learned that because my daughter, my 15-year-old daughter, said that she loves Bag Balm and her friends love Bag Balm even before I started. So that was kind of an insight to me. So but we still want to be true to the heritage brand on who we are. That we were made for cows' udders in 1899. Farmer John came home one night and his wife said, hey, you should really make this for humans too. So we started making it for humans, and it's been this authentic brand. We don't hide the fact that it was made for cows' udders, for chafing and for cracked skin. And again, Raquel Welch, I'm not sure, I won't get into details on that, but pull the other one. So 60s pinup reveals udder ointment to really help her sex appeal. So, she's been using it forever. Shania Twain uses it as one of her beauty secrets. And then Lee Bosworth, if you're familiar with her, she talked about it on a recent clip, and we're featured with Aveeno and some of the best brands in the world together as a real beauty brand, an authentic beauty brand. But at the end of the day, this is really...
I can remember my father having a can of Bag Balm on the windowsill out there back when I was a little kid, and I can still see it sitting there.
The first memory of the green tin coming out, the unique smell of the product. But Bag Balm is one of those classic Vermont brands that just screams authenticity.
So we stay true, that's our North Star. I think I had 15 minutes, I'm probably up, so thank you. Can you let the come up now?